Imagine this. It's late morning in Gilgit. You've just had a big paratha breakfast, and now you're slumped on the hotel bed thinking, should I just scroll my phone till Asr, or actually do something with these few free hours?
Exactly. The AC is humming, the bed is comfy, and you convince yourself, this is also part of traveling. But somewhere in the back of your mind, Yard, I came all the way to Gilgit. There has to be something close by that doesn't need a full trekking day.
That was literally us. We were in Gilgit between two long drives, half tired, half bored, and we kept asking each other, do we rest or do we finally check out Naltar Valley?
And the funny part is, Naltar is so close that locals talk about it like it's just a quick errand. But for people like us, coming from long highway days, it felt like, can we really squeeze this into half a day without exhausting everyone?
So today on Travel Diary, we're taking you on that exact half day. From that lazy moment in Gilgit to pines, chairlifts, quiet lakes, and back in time for a relaxed evening. No hardcore trekking, no huge budget, just a smart little escape.
If you're staying in Gilgit or just passing through and you've got, let's say, 5 to 6 free hours, this is for you. Family-friendly, beginner-friendly, and honestly, mentally friendly.
All right, let's start from that hotel room in Gilgit after breakfast. We looked at each other and said, okay, if we go now, we can be in Naltar in time to still enjoy the cool forest and come back before it gets too dark. That decision point is important. Half day means you can't do everything. You have to choose the vibe you want.
And the vibe that day was very clear. No heroics. No full mission to tick off every colored lake on Instagram. Just let's breathe some pine-scented air and see at least one pretty spot without turning it into a race.
Exactly. So we grab one small day pack, inside water bottles, some snacks, biscuits, nuts, light jackets, because even in summer, Naltar can feel cooler than Gilgit, especially in the shade. And, very important, a power bank. You'll be tempted to film everything.
For footwear, we both wore comfortable joggers. You don't need full trekking boots if you're just doing the base area and maybe a short walk. But don't go in fancy city shoes either. Think, can I walk on uneven dirt and a bit of dust without crying over my sneakers?
Then came the most important choice, the vehicle. And I really want you to pay attention here. The first part from Gilgit towards Nomel and then towards Naltar is on a proper road. But as you get closer, the access road gets narrower and definitely bumpy in sections. It's not a smooth city boulevard.
We decided not to be heroes with a tiny low car. We went for a higher clearance vehicle with a local driver who actually knows the road. And honestly, that one decision probably saved us a lot of stress. If you're not used to mountain roads, hiring a local driver is worth the money.
Yeah, because some turns are narrow and a few patches feel properly rough. Not dangerous if you go slow and the driver knows what he's doing, but you should mentally be ready for bumps. This is not a nap in the back seat kind of road.
Once we left Gilgit town, the mood changed quickly. You have that mix of river views, little villages, and then you slowly feel the air begin to cool. The dust of the main road starts to stay behind you, literally, as you climb.
I remember rolling down the window in that first proper lungful of cooler air. It's subtle, but if you've been in town for a couple of days, you really feel it. Less heat bouncing off concrete, more soft breeze over trees and rocks. Even the sunlight feels cleaner somehow.
And then, at one point, it's like someone closed a door behind you. The valley walls come closer, you start seeing more trees, and suddenly you're in the shade of pines. The sound changes too. Less honking, more that soft hush of a forest, with maybe kids' voices echoing from somewhere ahead.
That first proper pine section, I think that's when half day starts to feel like a full reset. You're still close to Gilgit, but your brain thinks you're hours deep into the mountains. If you're traveling with family, this is the moment everybody gets quiet for a bit, just looking out of the windows.
We reached the main base area where you see the little food stalls, some open space, and of course the famous chairlift setup. It's not like a massive commercial resort. It's very simple and earthy. Wooden structures, basic benches, kids running around in jackets that are slightly too big for them.
This is where your half-day decision tree appears. You've got a few realistic options. One, you keep it super chill, no chairlift, no long drive further. Just walk around near the base, sit under the trees, drink chai, let kids play. 2, you add a short, safe chairlift ride for a bit of fun. 3, If you started early enough, and you're okay with more rough road, you push further to get a glimpse of at least one colored lake.
We stood there for a minute just absorbing the scene. The chairlift cables humming softly, the small cluster of stalls. Nothing fancy, just local chai, pakoras, maybe instant noodles. It's the kind of place where your expectations need to be realistic. You're here for nature, not a 5-star food court.
We decided first, chai, always. We found a small stall with plastic chairs, slightly wobbly, but the view was priceless. Tall pines above us, a patch of sun lighting up dust motes in the air, and the sound of kids laughing like they were in a big playground that nature built for them.
The chai itself was basic, strong, sweet, served in those thick glasses that get too hot to hold from the top. But in that cool air, it tasted like some gourmet mountain drink. These are the tiny comfort details that actually make a half day feel worth it.
Now, about the chairlift, it's not a huge, scary monster lift. It's short and simple. But if anyone in your group is nervous with heights, you can totally skip it and just enjoy the forest floor. For us, we saw families doing it. Some kids a bit scared at first, but then laughing once it started moving slowly.
We actually stood there debating. Do we spend our limited time on the chairlift experience, or do we save that time and energy for maybe attempting a colored lake? That's where the half-day reality hits. You can't do everything without feeling rushed.
We checked our watch, looked at the sky, and asked the local driver a very important question. Realistically, from now, if we go towards a lake, can we see one properly and still come back before the light gets too low? His answer was honest. Yes, maybe one, in a focused way, not all of them, and only if you don't stop for long photo shoots everywhere.
So we made a deal with ourselves. Chairlift, we would skip this time. Lake, we would attempt, just one. And I really want to highlight this for you. If you have only half a day, think in terms of either a relaxed base area plus maybe chairlift, or a more focused mission to one lake, not a checklist of every single spot.
Because the road further towards the lakes is again, in parts, narrow and bumpy. It's manageable with the right vehicle and driver, but don't imagine a smooth, quick highway sprint. Factor in that you'll go slow and you might have to pause for oncoming vehicles on tight sections.
On the way up towards the lake, phone signal became patchy, so don't rely on strong mobile internet up there. Tell your family your plan before you disappear into the trees, download your maps offline if you're driving yourself, and accept that for a few hours you're basically offline. Honestly, that's part of the charm.
We reached a lake area that wasn't the farthest, most famous one, but it was quiet, with that classic Naltar mix of greenish water and surrounding pine slopes. Kids were throwing stones near the edge. Families were just sitting on rocks in their shawls, watching the water move slowly.
We didn't hike around the whole shore. We just picked a comfortable spot, sat, and let the place do its work. No rush, no drone shots, just that feeling of, okay, this is why we left the hotel bed. The temperature was noticeably cooler than Gilgit, so those light jackets came in handy.
A quick practical note. Washrooms in Naltar are basic. Around the base area, you might find simple public toilets or guest house-style washrooms, but don't expect spotless city standards. Carry tissues, maybe a small sanitizer, and manage expectations, especially if you're traveling with kids.
Food-wise, it's mostly simple stalls. Chai, pakoras, maybe fries, maybe instant noodles, or a basic dal chawal if you're lucky and patient. If you have picky eaters or young kids, bring some backup snacks from Gilgit. Biscuits, chips, maybe a sandwich. That way no one gets cranky just because the pakoras took too long.
After some quiet time near the lake, we looked at the sun and decided, that's it, we don't stretch it. This is another big tip. In the mountains, start heading back while the light still feels generous. Don't wait till it's already getting dim in the forest.
The drive back towards the base and then down to Gilgit had this beautiful golden light filtering through the trees. You see dust in the air turning almost orange, the trunks of the pines glowing softly, and everything feels extra calm for some reason. It's that perfect end-of-day mood, but you still know you'll reach town in time for a relaxed dinner.
Back in Gilgit, we checked the time and laughed. We had really only used half a day, roughly say 1 to 1.5 hours each way, including the rougher road, plus a couple of hours split between the base and the lake. And yet mentally, it felt like a full reset, like we had gone on some big adventure.
Cost-wise, most of the budget went into the vehicle and driver. Especially if you hire a 4x4 or a high-clearance car with a local driver, that's your main spend. Food and chai were simple and affordable. The chairlift, if you choose to do it, is a small add-on, not a huge expense. For a family or small group sharing the vehicle cost, it's a very reasonable half-day outing.
And the biggest shift for us was this. We stopped thinking of free time in Gilgit as dead time. Now, in our heads, even if we have just half a day, we know we can trade scrolling on our phones for pine trees and cool air. Naltar became this easy add-on, not a complicated expedition.
So if you're listening and you're planning a trip, here's a simple Naltar half-day formula for you. 1. Start from Gilgit after breakfast, but don't leave too late. 2. Arrange a suitable vehicle with an experienced local driver. 3. Decide in advance. Are you a base area and chairlift group or a base area plus one lake group?
4. Pack light but smart. Water, snacks, light layers, comfortable shoes, tissues, sanitizer, power bank. 5. Be honest with your comfort level about bumpy, narrow roads and don't push anyone beyond what feels okay. And 6. Give yourself permission not to see everything. One quiet lake or even just a forest afternoon is more than enough.
If you want to turn this into an easy checklist, we've put together a small printable mini plan for a half-day Naltar escape. Timing ranges, what to pack, a rough sample budget, and those choice points we talked about.
You can grab it on our website. Just head over to the travel diary page for this episode. Pines, chairlifts, and quiet lakes. A half-day escape into Naltar Valley. Download it, save it on your phone, and the next time you're in Gilgit with a few spare hours, you'll have a ready-made plan instead of a hotel room debate.
All right, that's it from our side for today. May your free hours turn into pine-scented memories, not just more screen time.
This is Sharjeel with Abdullah signing off from Travel Diary. Next time you're in Gilgit, remember, Naltar is closer, calmer, and kinder than you think. Khuda Hafiz, and happy wandering.